There is a moment in every era of a sport when something shifts, quietly at first, then all at once, until the entire landscape looks different than it did before. For women's basketball, that moment is happening right now inside Gainbridge Fieldhouse, and its name is the Indiana Fever. Picture this: 5 straight wins. A team that started the season searching for its identity now sits third in the league standings, and it isn't just winning, it's dominating. 3 of its last 4 victories came against teams built for the playoffs, teams that were supposed to be obstacles, not stepping stones. The Liberty fell, the Wings fell, and then came the Dream, in a game that refused to end quietly, an overtime battle that tested every ounce of composure this team had left. But wins and losses only tell part of the story. Underneath every one of these victories is an engine running hotter than anything this league has ever seen. The Fever are averaging more points per game than any team in the history of the WNBA. Not close to the record, not chasing it, setting it, night after night, possession after possession. At the center of this offensive explosion are 2 names that have become inseparable from each other and from greatness itself. Kelsey Mitchell, pouring in points at a pace that ranks second in the entire league. And right behind her, the player who changed the trajectory of this franchise the moment she stepped onto the court. Together, they have done something no duo in league history has ever accomplished. 16 times this season, both players have scored 20 or more points in the same game. 16 times. A new record, and the season isn't even finished. Mitchell's streak alone is staggering. 20 consecutive games with 20 or more points, a run of consistency so relentless it borders on inevitability. And yet, even next to that kind of dominance, the other half of this partnership is writing something even more historic. Because it isn't just about scoring anymore. It's about vision, control, the ability to make every single person on the floor better. A league-leading assist average, stacked on top of elite scoring, is combining to produce what many are already calling the most offensively dominant individual season this league has ever witnessed. This is where the story could end. A tale of a team clicking at exactly the right time, riding talent and chemistry into the postseason. But there's another layer to this, one that stretches far beyond the box score, far beyond even the final buzzer. Because something extraordinary is happening every single time this team steps onto a national broadcast. The Fever don't just win games. They command attention. They own not 1, not 2, but the 5 most watched broadcasts of the entire season. Every time the lights come on and the cameras roll, something magnetic pulls millions of eyes toward the screen. And then came the night that shattered everything that came before it. The overtime thriller against the Dream wasn't just a dramatic finish. It became, officially, the single most watched WNBA game on cable television in the 30-season history of the league. Let that number sink in. 30 years of games, thousands of matchups, legends who built this league from the ground up, and none of them drew a crowd like this one did. An average of 2.6 million viewers tuned in. At its peak, that number surged past 4 million people, all watching the same possession, the same shot, the same razor-thin margin between victory and heartbreak. How did we get here? Rewind to 2024, the year everything changed. 2 rookies entered this league within months of each other, and neither the sport nor its audience would ever be the same again. One built her game on audacious, logo-range shooting and pinpoint passing that redefined what a point guard could be. The other brought physicality, swagger, and a rebounding instinct that turned every 50-50 ball into appointment viewing. Individually, each one moved the needle. Together, whenever their teams share the floor, they don't just play a basketball game. They create a cultural event. And the numbers prove it isn't a coincidence. Since that rookie season began, viewership across this league hasn't grown steadily, it has exploded. The broadcasts featuring the Fever consistently top the charts. But look closer, and a pattern emerges within that pattern. The single highest-rated regular season games, again and again, are the ones where the opponent wears a different jersey, one belonging to Angel Reese. Which raises the question every fan, every analyst, every network executive is now asking. What happens if these 2 collide again, not in the middle of the regular season, but in October, when everything is on the line, when one loss ends a season and one win writes history? A playoff series between these 2 wouldn't just be a basketball matchup. It would be the biggest spectacle this league has ever produced, a collision of styles, storylines, and stardom playing out on a stage built for legends. And yet, even without that dream matchup guaranteed, one truth remains undeniable. Wherever this team goes in the postseason, whoever stands across from them in that first playoff game, the crowds will come. The cameras will roll. The numbers will climb. Because what this era is producing isn't just great basketball, it's a phenomenon, a level of offensive artistry combined with generational star power that the sport has simply never had to contain before. Every game now carries weight beyond the scoreboard. Every possession adds another data point to a season that record keepers will study for decades. A duo redefining what dominance looks like on the court. A viewership surge redefining what this league is capable of drawing off it. And somewhere in the middle of all of it, two rivals, two forces of nature, quietly building toward a moment neither the league nor its fans may be ready for. Because if the regular season can already produce the most watched cable broadcast in 30 years of history, then the real question isn't whether this rivalry will define the league's future. It's how much bigger this can possibly get when the stakes are finally at their highest, and the whole basketball world is watching to find out.